So good evening. My name is Byron. I'm here to take you through how to reduce the cost of a real estate transaction in Kenya. Okay, so I'm going to classify them into numbers. So number one is you have to do some research and comparison. So this is with regards to the professionals you're going to engage with. You have the agent, you have the advocates, maybe a surveyor if necessary. What is the cost of the property that they are offering you? For instance, there could be a property that is going for a certain amount, but maybe another agent can negotiate a lower. And you also want to discuss the fees that they're going to charge for the advocates usually, and also you can discuss the periods of payments, maybe the deposits and how you're going to pay the remaining amount. Number two is to utilize technology, ensure that maybe most of the things are covered virtually instead of having physical meetings, which are going to cost you extra, because you're trying to maybe avoid maybe having to buy lunch, fuel your vehicle, spending extra fare. You also want to try and minimize having to pay people here and there to organize meetings. So the best would be to have virtual meetings and maybe to discuss most of the things on phone or email. So number three, shop for financing. Financing, this is usually up to the client, to the advice of the agent. So you want to look around and see which banks are giving out the mortgage at the best rates, because some banks are usually they have very high rates, and they also require you to have an initial amount which is also very high, making the process very strenuous for you as a client. So you must do some comparison. Purchase during the proper timing. Also, this one will require maybe that you involve a valuer to inform you. There are certain periods where the property values usually are lower due to some economic principles. So you may find that maybe the value of apartments or values of certain parcels of lands in certain areas have reduced, and it's usually the best time for you to purchase property. So you want to also be sure that the timing is right, so that you don't buy when the property values are extremely high. Then you also want to try and reduce any kinds of delays, like say if there are certain documents that are required and they're required maybe urgently, you may have to go, like for instance, say searches. If you apply for a search online, it might take longer. Sometimes it takes even up to 1 month for you to acquire a search. But if you go to the registries, you may be able to get a search within maybe two days, even the same day. So you may want to reduce anything that may delay the process, because delays are usually translated to extra costs in one way or the other. For the money that you're going to be paying in terms of maybe the taxes or the pricing, you want to have some meetings with the seller and your agent and discuss on how you can get maybe discounted figures. This is up to the buyer and his agent. So a good agent should be able to negotiate even before the table, but you can also arrange for the same agent and meet the seller. So on the side of the bank, there's going to be the cost, there's going to be the evaluation that will be done. So for the evaluation, this one will be going to be charged. The charge usually for the first 2 million, they will charge you 1%, which is 20,000. For the rest, they will charge you 0.24. So for the advocate, is going to charge you averagely 2%. Also can be negotiated. Usually some of them charge 1%, some of them charge up to 2% of the value of the property. And then there's also going to be the processing of the mortgage, which to be professionals who are in the panel of the bank. And some of these you may not be able to negotiate, but to try to minimize the cost, you may maybe deal with professionals that are already in the bank panel. Like for instance, if you have a valuer who is going to do for you an inspection before you purchase the property, then you want to ensure that that same valuer is in the panel of the bank where you're going to get your mortgage, so that the same valuation report can be used later on in the transaction, so that you don't have to do two valuations, because you're going to pay each individual valuer separately. The same also applies to the advocate. The same applies to the surveyor. If there would be any need to have a surveyor, in most cases the surveyor is not required, but just in case it's required, you also need a surveyor who is in the bank panel from where you're getting the loan. On the agency fee, the agent may either be paid by the seller or by the buyer, but it should not be paid by both. So you should communicate to either parties where the payment is going to come from. So if the payment is coming from the buyer, then the buyer can negotiate with the seller so that the two of them can share the cost of the agent. This is something you can do prior the initiation of the sale transaction. So it's good for you to discuss also and agree on how you're going to pay your agent. So another one is on the property taxes. This is maybe you can talk about the capital gains tax. So this one is usually paid by the seller, so that is out of the way from the buyer. Other taxes such as the land rates, the property rates, this one also are supposed to be paid by the seller. Any delays may extend this period further. So you also want to negotiate about the stamp duty. This one now should be paid by the buyer, but also the two parties, which is the buyer and the seller, they can decide to share the cost of this. There are also other property expenses that usually come up. This include things such as maybe repairs. The property is not a new one, and even if it's new, there is usually maybe some other charges such as installation of water meters, connection of electricity. If there's maybe borehole in the neighborhood, how you can connect water to your property. So for the taxes, we have the land rates, which are paid to the county government of that locality. Then you also have the land rent, which is paid for all leasehold properties, paid to the national government. Then you also have the capital gains tax, which is also known as the CGT. It is usually 15% of the 15% of the net gains of the property. So we also have the stamp duty. So stamp duty usually around maybe 2% to 4% depending on the user. The property can, if it's an agricultural property in the rural areas, it will be 2%. But if it's a property in the urban, maybe a residential or a commercial, or even an industrial property in the urban areas, maybe in Nairobi and the major neighborhoods, it's going to be 4% of the value of the property. This one will be paid by the as the buyer. You want to do proper due diligence. That's why it's important. If you can get an agent who is also a valuer, because not all agents are valuers. If you can get an agent who is a valuer, it's better because they can do an appraisal for you, maybe at an extra cost, or you can also just agree with them that they do for you for free because you are engaging them in the transaction. So if they can do an appraisal to ascertain, or maybe to just try to confirm any future trends or any future events that may affect negatively the value of the property, you want to go for that option, so that certain properties that you've seen where the purchase of the transaction is complete, that the property can either be affected by floods, or maybe that neighborhood is set aside for a road construction. That's why it's important to just do due diligence so that you avoid such